all politics aside, if you look at what's happened in the last 3 years in terms of the amount of migration that's come into the country, I don't know the exact numbers, but I've heard as low as 10 million. I've heard as high as 13 million. And I think the median age, based on some of the more recent reports I've looked at, the median age of that person is actually over 18 years old. And that is going to have an immediate impact on the demand for housing in the future.
It is.
The last time I checked, it takes 18 years and 9 months to grow an 18-year-old. And now we've got 10 to 13 million of them that we weren't accounting for 4 years ago.
It's massive.
So yes. So for those reasons alone, I think that housing is likely to be more expensive in the future, not less.
Yeah.
We already had a massive housing deficit. Then you bring 10 to 13 million people into that equation, and now you have this robust demand that clearly needs to be resolved. The real question is, what's the fastest way to resolve it? And I think that's where the challenges are coming in.
Newsom thinks it's tiny homes.
It could be a very small a portion of it could be tiny homes, but there's no way that ADUs are going to be the solution to this problem.
No.
It's a cost prohibitive. I think a lot of builders, it's hard to build price per square foot.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to build a single ADU because it's got 4 walls to it, and a roof and just about everything else that a single family home has. And so it's just, the economy of scale isn't there. And so maybe, what we could be talking about is condoing out some existing buildings that are sitting in larger cities.
Yeah.
That might be the fastest way to come up with a solution.
You're talking like commercial buildings?
Sure. I mean, we already know that there's been this massive shift in, what higher density commercial building space looks like. It's mostly vacant.
Yep.
And cities aren't collecting any tax revenue from it because it's vacant, and, the landlord's likely to lose it to foreclosure anyway. So for them to go in and do, a condo type of conversion with some of these larger buildings might be a faster solution. Yeah. It wouldn't be the quote unquote in my backyard as a homeowner.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not many people are going to be complaining about it.
Yep.
I feel like that's likely going to be a direction that they can go, because the cities have a huge problem.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, you look at San Francisco and the number of square footage of office space that's sitting vacant. That's phase 1 of the problem. Phase 2 is that the city is supposed to collect revenue based on the valuations of those buildings.
Yep.
Well, if those buildings were built at $800 a foot and they foreclose at $200 a foot, the city's not going to get as much revenue.
Yes. They
got to fund fire, police, EMS, curb, gutter, street, sidewalks, trash. I think that the real solutions, and they're not talking about them yet, are going to be, they have to be much larger than they're doing right now.
Yeah.
It ain't ADUs.